Jagrad, Jai Masters. Let's have a different kind of talk this morning. In the tradition, which I always teach, Ram Dass used to give out a tiny little pamphlet back in the 70s, and it was the Third Zen Patriarch Treatise on Faith Mind. And its starting sentence is, all you need is the deepest of all writings, and it says, the great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. I get a lot of feedback on that. Like, some people have fun because they're very mental, and they say, isn't having no preferences a preference? The key, and we're going to deviate from that, the key is, if you have no preferences, you can enjoy everything. It's not like having no preferences is renunciation. That's how the human mind thinks. Your preferences are a problem, not a solution. When you have a preference, then only that makes you happy. I only love this person. Well, then you're in trouble, because you're not going to feel very much love, because there's 8.3 billion of those guys running around, and you only feel love with one. That's how the teachings are. That's why the great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. But we Westerners, we don't like that thought. That's silly. We want to use the law of attraction to attract to ourselves our preferences. That way I can be happy. But what the great ones are teaching you is, you have limited your happiness to your preferences. Try to look at that for a minute. No one's going to take them away from it. In fact, the talk's not going to be about the great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. I just want to lay the groundwork so you all understand that true spirituality is not about renunciation. It's about ecstasy. It's about nirvana. It's about being happy all the time. It's about being just totally inspired and blissed out in love all the time. But if you tell a Westerner the great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences, they think that's renunciation. They think I have to give everything up. I'm just going to, for a moment, and then we'll move on, lay the groundwork for you to understand that when you have preferences, you have limited your happiness to your preferences. I only like this type of food, cooked this way, served on this dinnerware by this person. You're in trouble. So now do you see why the teachings are true? They're honest. But don't get depressed, all right? It's not about giving up your preferences. It's about understanding that your preferences are a problem, not a solution. They limit you. And not only do they limit you to the preference, you can only feel love if you're getting what you want. You know that. Someone tells you, I love you. You like that, if you like the person. So the preferences are very, very specific. So you say to somebody in the midst of hugging, intimate moment, oh my God, I just love you so much. Oh my God, I can't even breathe. I love you so much. And the person said, yeah, I love you too. They told you they loved you. What are you looking for? It has to be just right, at just the right moment, with just the right person, in just the right tone. Look what you've done. You've limited love. You've limited happiness. You've limited everything to exactly what your preference is. Now, not only is that a problem, but because you limited it, it doesn't happen very often by itself, does it? How often does everything you ever want just pop in front of you without you doing a single thing? Never. You understand that? You have to work for it. Your daddy told you that. You want something in this world, you work for it. Better get your act together, and you better get God on your side, and you better do everything right, and better not shout, you better not cry. Santa Claus coming. He knows what you're doing. So now, not only have you limited your happiness and limited your love to a very, very thin, right or wrong, it's very specific, isn't it? Come on, be honest. Now you have to work for it. Now you have to stress out. Now you have to worry it won't happen. Now you have to worry if it does happen that it will stop it. Yes or no? Once you feel love, you never worry about going away, do you? You never worry about what the other person's doing. You never feel jealousy, never feel insecurity, never feel doubt. No, right? I got it, don't I? That's why the great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. You want to know why? Because the great way is very difficult for those who have preferences, isn't it? Okay, so now let's put that aside, now that you've been honest enough to dare to look at why the deep teachings are the deep teachings. Now let's take a slightly different tact. The great way is not difficult for those who prefer everything. That sounded better, didn't it? Guess what? It's the same thing. The great way is not difficult for those who prefer everything. So I would like to teach this morning that you can do that. Imagine if you preferred everything. What does that mean? What do you want? It's already happening. What about your future? It'll be great. How could you have a problem in the world? You prefer everything. But this person said they love you. That's really, really nice. Then they left. That's beautiful. Did your heart hurt? Yeah, I love it. Come on, laugh. Come on. That's where a great being is. Things happen in this world, don't they? Have you noticed? They just seem to happen. There seems to be a happening place. There's stuff unfolding in front of you. When was the last time nothing was unfolding in front of you? Never. The problem is you're scared of what's unfolding in front of you. Your desires of what's unfolding in front of you. So you're not okay. You're not okay. If you desire something, it means you don't have it. You're not happy. You want something. You need something. If you fear something, it means you're not happy. You're scared to death. So this next moment that's going to unfold, do you want it or do you not want it? Either way, you're in trouble. Because it has to be exactly what you want, and you know it's not going to be. So the spiritual path can be, and normally they teach the deep stuff this way, get rid of your preferences, be disciplined, do all the kind of stuff. Very good, very important. But it also can be, can you learn to love life? All of life. You're going to be here for a very, very short period of time. I know it seems long to you, but the Earth's been here for 4.5 billion years. How long are you going to be here? 70, 80, 90? 4.5 billion? Big difference. So you can be here for just a blink of an eye. That's all it's going to be. Do you want to have a good time? Or do you not want to have a good time? Do you want to feel love? Do you want to feel joy? Do you want to feel enthusiasm? Do you want to feel excitement? Do you want to feel inspired all the time? Or do you want to feel tense and anxious and scared and insecure? It's your choice. It's your life. You were born and you're going to die. That's guaranteed. What happens in between is 100% up to you. Don't you dare think that it has anything to do with anybody else or anything that's gone outside. But that's my experience. Of course it's your experience, because you decided what you wanted. You decided what you like and what you don't like. And it's not happening, is it? Sometimes it happens a little bit, but then you worry it'll go away. I told you. When was the last time you got what you wanted and you never wanted anything ever again? Never. First of all, when was the last time you got exactly what you wanted and it lasted more than 15 seconds? Never. Never. You have to understand it doesn't work that way. But there are things you can do to make it so you're happy all the time. But I'm telling you, the mind thinks to be happy all the time, I have to get what I want all the time. No one ever gets what they want all the time. It's never happened. It's not going to happen. So why would you set that as your goal? You set yourself up to fail. You can't succeed. You cannot succeed if you say, I will be happy all the time if everything I want happens exactly when I want it to happen, exactly the way I want it to happen. Can you? All right? But I want you to be happy all the time. I want you to learn to be enthused and excited and looking forward to everything and having no problem. Imagine having no problem with anything that ever happened in your past. Come on, look at me. Can you imagine what that would be like? That the past is over when it's over? What happened, happened, and you were fine with it? And now you're moving on, and you're digging the present, and you can't wait for the future to happen, and the past doesn't exist. But you don't live like that, do you? No one lives like that. And what you're taught instead is to be the way you are, and then try to get what you want that makes you happy once in a while. Spirituality does not teach that. Spirituality is the greatest thing in the world. It's about being ecstatic, nirvana, samadhi, happy, love, blissed, no matter what. The great ones taught the great teachings, which are, you are a great being, you are filled with love all the time, you're filled with joy, you're filled with inspiration about every single thing all the time. That's how you are. Well, when I miss the boat, that's not what I feel. And then they teach you why you don't. Not what you have to do it, what you're doing to make it so you don't feel it. You want to find, how can I feel love? How can I find love? My heart doesn't feel love. And they teach you, do this and dress this way, and behave that way, and go to finishing school, and do this and drive a Tesla, and just do just do what other people want so that they like you and you feel love. Dress, act, be what others accept and like, and they will treat you in a way that you get to feel love. Does that sound familiar? Are you busy? Work for it. Work for it. It doesn't just come, you have to work for it. That's absurd. You are filled with love, incomprehensible love. Any love you ever felt, multiplied times 1,000,000, and that's what's going on inside of you all the time. The Shakti is flowing in there, pouring out through all your chakras. Just love is pouring out. It's your natural state. It's your natural state. It's your natural state. You did something to screw it up. And what they're teaching you is, no, your natural state is lonely and you need people. You're a needy person. You need deodorant. You need hairspray. You need to change facelift. You need things. You need augmentations of all kinds everywhere. You need everything, right or wrong. Isn't that what they teach you? You need to be successful. You need to have all kinds of letters after your name. You need people to respect you. You need people to clap when you come in the room. If you want to feel good, you need that stuff. That is absurd, and it will never happen. It will never happen, and at least not last for any time. It's just an absurd concept that the only time you can be okay is if you're getting every single thing you want, and getting everyone to like you, and getting everyone to love you, and getting everyone to respect you, and getting money, and getting to go places, and getting to do things, and getting your little bucket list taken care of. In other words, need. That's what you're taught. Need. You're a needy person. Great ones teach you that's absurd. You need nothing. You're whole and complete within yourself. So what happened here? What happened is you blocked yourself. And something straight. If you're not filled with love and joy, you did it. If you're not filled with inspiration for every single thing you do every minute, you did it. Don't you dare blame anybody else. Okay? But mommy's gone. Does anybody's past bother them at all, ever? Does anybody's past ever bother them at all, ever? Well, the past can't be doing it. It's not happening anymore. Be logical. Wake up. Spirituality is not about faith and believing blindly. It's about being rational. Your past should not be bothering you. I don't care what they tell you. I don't care what happened. I don't care how bad it was. It's not happening anymore. Therefore, it should be having no effect on you. That's how spiritual people talk to you. But you don't want to hear it, do you? Well, where's compassion? You know what compassion is? I have great compassion for you. I know you shouldn't be suffering. I feel so sorry that you're suffering. Not, oh, I agree with you. Of course you're suffering. Oh my God, you'll never be okay if that happened to you. I'm so compassionate for what happened. That's not compassion. How's that helping you? I just told you what compassion was. The only one who can truly feel compassion, who's free, a liberated being, who knows that what I've reached, you are. Christ said, that which I am, you are also. And these things which I do should do these and even greater things. So if somebody is free and liberated and filled with joy and love, and they know that that's inside of everybody, now you feel compassion. Why would you not be feeling it? It's so beautiful. I'm so sorry for you, for sure. See the difference? I'm not going to get down there and wallow with you, because I know you don't need to be wallowing. Okay, keep looking at me. I like your face, all right? I want you to be shocked. I want you to once wake up about what's going on. So let's continue with the past. Is the past still happening? That's why it's called past. If it is not happening, why is it bothering you? Because you admitted it's bothering you. Some of it really bothers you. Some of it bothers so much you can't talk about it. Why? Why? Why is it in you? Why did it stay in you? Why is it stuck in you? Why are you sensitive about it? Why did you get triggered by it? Because you stored it in there. Maybe Frank stored it in there. No, you're the only one in there. Are you not the only one in there? Well, then you did it. And now I get two facts. You're the only one in there. It's not happening. So how can you be bothered by it? Because you did a very silly thing. You couldn't handle the reality when it took place. It took place and you said, I can't handle this. I'm not okay with this. This shouldn't have happened. What shouldn't have happened? That which happened. That's the most irrational thing in the whole world. If it happened, it happened. It obviously happened. All right? I mean, it shouldn't have happened. Where are you coming from? This is how you get to a state where you're filled with love. You stop doing this silly thing of store. If you store every single thing that ever bothered you inside of you, you know what it's going to be like inside? Bothered. And it is, isn't it? And now you need to work to be okay even though you're bothered. I need to find somebody who distracts me from myself enough so that I'm happier than I am when I'm by myself. Don't I need to find that? And that goes for vacations, and that goes for jobs, and that goes for every relationship, everything. I need to find something to distract myself from the fact that I'm not okay, but I am when I'm in your presence. But I am when I'm in Hawaii. But I am when I'm earning a lot of money and get the corner office. There are things that will make me feel better than I feel normally. All right? Whereas spirituality says, fine, you want to do that? Go do that. Go on. Go attract to yourself what you want. Go go work for it. Go work for it. Or find out why you messed yourself up. Find out why you're not filled with love and inspiration all the time. And you're going to find because you store this stuff inside. You stored every pain you ever had. You stored every rejection. If you think about high school, somebody rejected you, it bothers you still. So you wake up and you realize that's the problem. There is no problem except what you created by not being able to handle reality and then storing it inside of you. So what do I do about it? Obviously, one, learn to handle reality. Ooh, that was a tough one to say. Ready? I know this is going to upset you terribly. Learn to be okay that Saturn has rings. Learn to be okay that the Earth is not the center of the universe and that all the planets are not orbiting around the Earth. No, Galileo, we're going to lock you up. Don't you dare say that. Learn to be okay with reality. Learn to be okay that there are worms. Learn to be okay that there are snakes. Learn to be okay that there are birds. Learn to be okay that there are bugs. Why? Because there are. Those are the Zen teachings. When a great Zen master sits down with grasshopper, that's you, and says, flowers are red, water's blue, and grass is green. Now go home. In other words, things are what they are. You have no right to judge them. You have no right to decide, no, I want grass to be red. That's how I do LSD. It's like, things are what they are. Doesn't mean they're right or wrong or better or worse, but if they have happened, then there are reasons that they happen. I keep trying to get this through. I don't know if I get this through. You don't have to be a physicist or a chemist or a real scientist to understand that things happen because of cause and effect. I'm going to make a statement to you and you tell me whether it's true. What has happened is the result of all the causes that made it happen. What has happened is the result of all the causes that came together in that moment that caused it to happen. Then you can't say it was wrong. Then you can't say it shouldn't have happened. Wait, I like that one. That shouldn't have happened. But I just said everything that happens is the result of all the things that came together and made it happen. So it may not have been very nice, but clue in, it should have happened. All right? If everything else happened throughout the beginning of the universe until right now, and it all came together and created this moment. Wait, I'll give you one that I know you won't like. I can't believe you said that to me. You shouldn't have said that. How could you say that? You shouldn't have said that. You want to bet? You want to bet if you take a supercomputer and take every single event that ever happened to that person and put it into that supercomputer and said, Hal, you remember Hal, 2001, right? What do you got to say for yourself? Exactly what that person said to you exactly at that moment, because all the causes and forces, they all came together, and that's what came out of their mouth at that moment. So go ahead, say it. You shouldn't have said that. What do you think about that now? Pretty silly, isn't it? How about, gee, I'm sorry you said that. How can I help? Right? Here, if the moment unfolding in front of me is the sum of all of its learned experiences, I'm going to add one more learned experience to it to make it a little bit better. So if you said something and it was really nasty, I don't get to say you shouldn't have said that. Your father died yesterday, and your mother's all upset, and you ate pepperoni pizza that was really bad the day before, and you really had a really bad day, and you came home and you said this thing. How can I say you shouldn't have said it? It's the sum of your learned experiences. Every single thing that ever happened, including Hitler, including every single that ever happened, had a reason that it happened. Doesn't have to be a good reason. The sum of all the experiences came together and created what it created. Now the question is, what are you going to do about it? I'm going to say it shouldn't have happened. Well, then you're not very helpful. Why? Because it did happen. What good does it do to say it shouldn't have happened? It's never going to not have happened. Nobody ever rewound. You can rewind on your cell phone, so you're streaming, right? But you can't rewind in life. If it happened, it happened. All of this is about the great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. Or the great way is not difficult for those who prefer everything. All right? You're not willing to accept reality. Do you understand that? Do you admit that? Here, we're going to have a truth and consequences. Do you admit that you're not willing to accept reality? You're only willing to accept what you made up reality should have been. Or should be. Can I send you home now? Have we gone deep enough? Do you see the problem? Do you see you're the problem? If you're not willing to accept reality, and reality had to happen, reality had to happen. Not morally, not socially justice or anything like that, but the sum of all the events that ever happened caused it to happen. Then reality had to happen. And you can't accept reality. Well, there's going to be a major problem in there. That's why there are wars. That's why there's so much turmoil. That's why there's suffering. What did Buddha say? It's not just the third Zen patriarch. Buddha's teaching. All of life is suffering. What do you think? He got that down pretty good, didn't he? It doesn't mean you break your arm every day. It means you're in there suffering. You're in there needing. You're in there wanting. You're in there fearing. You're in there being jealous. You're in there being insecure. You're in there trying to manipulate everything and not being happy how it's going. That's Buddha's teaching. All life is suffering. He's right. Old people, young people, rich people, poor people. Then you come down to his second noble truth. The cause of suffering is preference. The cause of suffering is desire. So if you have desires and you're doing this with yourself, you're going to suffer. So what's the answer? Learn to work with reality. It's called acceptance. Learn to work with reality and realize you can bring good things into the world. You can bring change. Nobody says you don't do something, but you start with acceptance. You have to start with acceptance. Does that make sense to you? I don't like gravity. Too bad. If you want to learn to fly heavier than air, you have to learn gravity. Inside and out. You have to know every single thing about it, don't you? You have to accept reality in order to move forward and do something about it and contribute or whatever. If you sit there and say, I can't handle it, it shouldn't have happened, I'm not okay with this, and say that for the rest of your life about what happened before, you're going to be in trouble. And that is why you don't feel ecstasy. You see, you think you need to work to feel ecstasy. No, you need to stop doing the stuff you're doing inside, and you will find out that there's beauty inside of you. There's beautiful light. There's no depression. What is depression? I'm in here, and I'm staring at all the garbage that I collected throughout my entire life, and it's really dark, because what I stored in there is everything that ever bothered me. So, of course, that's what I see in there. And I don't see any light, so I'm depressed. Fair enough? Okay, but you're not depressed. Your consciousness isn't depressed. It's staring at the garbage you stored inside. So spirituality is not about getting things. Spirituality is about getting rid of things. Spirituality is about acceptance. You accept that reality took place. Like right now, I wish I could just snap my finger and say to you, did your past take place? Did it happen? Are you okay with it? Yes. Yes, I'm okay with it. Why? Because I have no right not to be. Like I said, to me, I asked you, is it okay with you that Saturn has rings? That's like asking you, is it okay that mommy did this, or daddy did this, or girlfriend did this, or boyfriend did this, or you broke your arm, 20 years ago. It's the same question, isn't it? What should come up in your mind is, what right do I have not to be okay that Saturn has rings? What right do you have to not to be okay with what happened? Now you understand, these are deep teachings. Doesn't sound like it, all right? But that's the teachings of surrender and acceptance. Surrender acceptance doesn't mean just say yes to every single thing that happens. You get to interact with what's happening. You are to interact. It's an interactive sport, life is. But you don't get to interact with what's already happened. You'll never interact with it your entire life ever again. But yet you are inside. So you made a mess in there. And so spirituality is about cleaning up that mess in there instead of trying to make the world match your mess. Did anybody hear that? Is that not what we're doing? No, I don't like when you talk like that. Oh, I really like when you wear that. No, that reminds me of what my sister said once, and I didn't like it. Don't say that. I don't like that word. In other words, to me, my life is about, I have a mess in here, and I want the world to match my mess, not hit the bad stuff, but hit the good stuff, and I'm out there struggling to try and make that happen. And so I'm anxious, and I have fear and anxiety and suppression and ulcers and all kinds of things. Is it okay if we talk like this? You want to talk honestly? Most people don't want to hear it. They want to hear how to attract to themselves what they want so they feel good. And they call that spirituality. Now the question is, what do I do about this? Right? And that's where the deep teachings come. Okay? I said to you, the great way, which means enlightenment, ecstasy, total well-being, is not difficult for those who prefer everything. All right? Well, I don't. I understand that. Okay? But how about instead of trying to manipulate the world to match your stuff, you work inside to match the world, to start working with things. How do you do that? I teach, and I know you get bored with it, but it's too bad. I'll tell you who your guru is. You want a guru? Everyone wants a guru. All right? Here's how you have a guru. Everyone, you have a guru. You know what your guru is? The weather. I'm serious. The weather is your guru. Why? You have no control over it, but you don't like it. You really like it or you really don't like it. But that's so funny, because you have no control over it, do you? It's going to rain when it rains, right or wrong. It's going to be sunny when it's sunny. It's going to be 97 degrees when it's 97. It's going to be 105 when it's 105. It's going to be 22 when it's 22, right or wrong? Can you honor it, respect it, learn to love it, learn to be at peace with it? See? I think it's really neat. That's what surrender means. There are things that happen that have nothing to do with you, but you have these preferences about them. How about we let those go? The great way is not difficult for those who like all the weather. How about this? Those who love all the weather don't have to move all the time. Should I go to Arizona? Should I go here? But they're saying Hawaii. Oh no, because they have these floods now in Hawaii and fires and volcanoes. Hawaii's off the list. I'm serious when I say to you, the weather is your teacher. It is your spiritual teacher, because you have no control over it, yet you have preferences about it. How silly is that? To me, that's equivalent to saying, are you okay that Saturn has rings? Are you okay that Mars has sand? Are you okay that it's hot? Aren't they the same? You have no control over it. It is what it is, and you're causing yourself to suffer about it only because of a preference. So what do? You work with yourself. You work with yourself on a daily basis, on a regular basis. You sit there and say, if the great way is not difficult, because you're all spiritual people, that's why you're here, if the great way is not difficult for those who prefer everything, see, I like it that way better, then I like that it's hot. Not I can tolerate that it's hot. And not even that I like it. I dig it. Come on, get hotter. I taught you how I learned to do it. I learned to do it back in the 70s. I was out here alone, and my Volkswagen van didn't have air conditioning. My house didn't have air conditioning. And it's summer in Florida, all right? And he'd be complaining, and I'm trying to meditate. He'd be complaining. And so I had a little talk with him. I had a sit down. You should have sit-downs with yourself. You call it meditation if you want. I just call it sit down. You sit down, and I said, why is it hot? I showed you this. I really did do this. And it never has ever happened again, right? Why is it hot? Because of the sun. What do you mean the sun? What is the sun? A star. A star? You mean you're so close to a star that you feel its heat? One of those little Twinkie things you look at night and romantic. You're so close to one of those that you feel its heat. That's pretty neat, huh? Is that neat enough? And it's 93 million miles away. And it's this hot. Whoa. And all of a sudden, it's pretty neat. Now, when I feel the sun, when I get out of my car, and it's 95 degrees, every single time, all I want to do is just do this. Come on, star. I feel the heat of a star. Okay? You do not get sunburn. You get starburn. See? You can do that, can't you? And then you know what else you do? You feel it and you say, I'm about to go into Publix. Thank you, star. Because there ain't going to be no food in Publix. That star ain't there. Will there? Do this with your mind. Instead of trying to figure out how to make the world be what your stupid preferences are, how about learning to enjoy life? That's what you want, isn't it? You want to enjoy life, but you think it can only happen if it matches this tiny little sliver of your preferences. We talked about that, didn't we? How about making your sliver bigger instead of making things match your sliver? That's what spirituality is. Opening, expanding your frame of reference, expanding your acceptance. So there you did it with the sun. You did it with the weather. What's the other one I do? Your driver in front of you. Every single one of us have trouble with the driver in front of us. Have you ever talked to the driver in front of you? Come on, buddy, the speed limit. You're going 10, 20 miles an hour. Oh, look, it's 55. You're going 20. Come on, what are you doing? Do you or do you not talk to the driver in front of you? Okay? What good did it do? Did they hear you? Did it change anything? Well, how about we do the same thing we did with the sun with the driver in front of us? Maybe that's your grandma. It could have been my grandma, and she got this last few years of her life, she gets to drive a little bit, and I'm tailgating her and beeping at her. Well, what do I want to do that for? It's all right. I can take a little longer. I'm okay. Enjoy your life. You can do that. You can give some room to somebody else who drives different than you. And all of a sudden, not only did you not bring garbage into the world, you learn to enjoy your life. You learn to enjoy your life. You sit there and have fun with the fact that someone's... when I do that, or because he doesn't like to drive slow, when I do that, I learn to say, my God, you're only going 15 below the speed limit? Come on, go 20, 30, let's set a record. Have fun with life. And if you have fun with life, you'll have fun with life. As opposed to telling life, be the way I want you to be. Because she ain't listening. Have you noticed? And be honest. The way you want it to be is not necessarily the way somebody else wants it to be. That's where wars come from. That's why there's so much disharmony. Do you see this is why? Because you think that your preferences are what's supposed to be happening. But your preferences are just made up of the garbage you store. Where do your preferences come from? I always end up talking about this, but you need to listen to it. Where do your preferences come from? You just make them up? No, you had past experiences that felt good. You had past experiences that felt bad. Those are your preferences. Well, nobody else had the same experiences as you, did they? No one went through life the way you did. Therefore, every single person has developed different preferences. Therefore, we have wars. Therefore, we have disharmony. Therefore, people don't get along. How can they? Because you think you're right. You think your preferences are right. You know for a fact. Because you experienced it. I didn't make this up. I experienced it. But there's 87 billion trillion things you didn't experience. So you don't know nothing. So this is why the emphasis, the deep teachings are about preferences. Because they're a big problem, aren't they? But not if you learn to prefer everything. And I like teaching you that. I don't want to teach you to renounce your preferences. And I don't want to teach you to renounce that if something happens and it feels good, don't feel guilty that it feels good. I'm glad you feel good. You understand that? Things will happen that match your preferences. Feel good. So I wanted to talk about this. Somebody came to me the other day and said, I don't feel love. I don't feel love in my heart. I would like to feel love. How do I feel love? How do I open my heart? How about that? How do I open my heart? I learned a long time ago. There's no crowbar that you can go in there and open your heart. But you know what you can do? You can stop closing your heart. That is within your power. You know when you close your heart, don't you? I don't like what you said. I don't like what you did. I don't like what you're wearing. I don't like what I think you're thinking. You're very busy closing your heart, aren't you? All the time. Close it all the time. I can love you as long as you're like that. Well, what if I'm not like that? I close my heart. If you stop closing your heart, it will be open. How's that for a piece of logic? So don't try to open your heart. Stop closing your heart. The natural state of your heart is open. If you learn to stop closing your heart about the weather, about the driver in front of you, about what somebody just said, about the waiter, about this, about the music, about somebody smoking, about this, about somebody's talking too loud, about every single thing that you close your heart about every single second. Your heart's sensitive, isn't it? If things are not exactly the way you want, you close your heart. Okay? And then you wonder why your heart's not open. Because you close it. These are all the same teachings. I just keep hitting them from a different angle, don't I? Wake up. You are in charge of your inner state, and you have made a mess. Don't feel guilty. Just wake up. It can be beautiful in there. How? By stop making it not beautiful in there. Okay? If you live in a house and you're depressed and there's garbage all over the place and pizza crust and you don't clean anything up, but your own one lives there, guess who made the mess? Guess who can clean it up? You're completely 100% in charge of your inner state. And you think you're not. Listen to me. That's a statement you will never agree with me. You yourself are 100% in charge of your inner state. No, because things happen outside and they affect my inner state. Now that's a true statement, but you did it. The outside is outside. It's just outside. There's weather, there's drivers, there's people, there's things, there's words, there's all these things. When they come in, that's your responsibility, what you do with them. If you want to freak out because somebody said something, go ahead. If you want to not freak out because somebody said something, go ahead. It doesn't affect what they said. It affects how you process what they said. Your state is yours, but you've let it go for so long that you don't know how to work with yourself. And so you have to have the outside world be a certain way for you to feel okay. And you have to make sure the outside world is not a certain way or you're going to feel worse. And now you don't understand that you're the one who lives in there and you're in charge. So you start cleaning up. That's what spirituality is. Clean up in there. What do? Somebody said something, it hits your past. Are you willing to say thank you? Thank you for pointing out what I stored in myself that has been screwing me up my entire life. It just hadn't come to the surface, and I don't want it in there. So I'm not mad at you for having said it. I'm going to work with myself because I don't know about you. Not only do I not want, I will not tolerate that there's stuff inside of me that will take away my joy, or my love, or my Shakti, or my closeness with God. No, not going to be that way. I'm not done. But it's not going to be that way, all right? But I'm going to work every moment of my life to make sure it's as clean as possible inside, because I have found out personally that when you do that, there's all this joy inside until you decide there's not. I'm filled with joy till you did that. How about that? I'm filled with joy till you did that. Now you have a choice. Give up the joy because of what they did, or don't give up the joy because of what they did. Which one you want? Which door? Door number 1 or door number 2? Isn't that silly? Why would you give up love? Why would you give up joy? That's what you want. You're in a relationship. You want to feel love. You feel love. That's why you're in a relationship. That's what you wanted. Now they did something, and you're going to not feel love because of what they did? No. I'm going to feel love no matter what you do. Who wins? Doesn't mean the relationship stays together. Time will show, but I ain't closing my heart. I ain't closing my heart. How about you? You want to feel love? Can you feel love when your heart... Answer me. I'm being strict with you guys today, right? Can you feel love when your heart is closed? Answer me. It's like, I'm a computer scientist. Things are binary to me. Very, very binary. You ready? Can you feel love when your heart is closed? Do you want to feel love? There. The discussion is over. I want to feel love, and I can't feel love when my heart's closed. Ergo, that's Latin, don't close your heart. But I don't care what they did. Why? Because you just said you want to feel love. It's called unconditional love, unconditional happiness, unconditional well-being, as opposed to conditional. Which one do you want? Because it's completely up to you. Have we communicated? Do you understand? The great way is not difficult. Either those who have no preferences, therefore I'm not closing my heart, or the great way is not difficult for those who prefer everything. I just love what you said. It really, really hurt me. That's serious stuff. Wow, thank you. Can you be like that? Yes, you can be like that. That's how the great ones were. There's a story of Ramana Maharshi, great, fully enlightened being. He had a handful, a collection of disciples. They would climb up the Himalayas, or really live in the Himalayas, to go visit somebody or do something. And there were bad people in the Himalayas. Don't think they're all good, all right? There were robbers, bandits, and they accosted them, and they beat up the master, and he was bleeding, and just knocked them all out. They woke up in the morning, they stole all their belongings, they stole all their food, they stole everything. So the disciples woke up, oh my God, pull themselves together, and we better go back down the mountain to get our supplies, get them together. And where's the master? Where's Ramarshi? He's walking up the hill, right where he would have been if he didn't get accosted. he just didn't mean a thing to him. He just got up, but let's go, we're going up there. You can handle life if you want to, or you cannot handle life if you don't want to. You're in there. Can you keep on trucking? Can you just decide, I'm fine. I'm fine. Why? Because I'm fine. And I'm not going to let life bring me down, because I'm the one who decided what brought me down. Here, some woman comes home, and there's a note from the husband, and it's goodbye, I'm leaving. I've had it with this relationship. I'm not happy here. Okay? Here's one woman that's destructive. What am I going to do? There's another woman, oh boy, he's gone. I couldn't get along with him, but I'm Catholic and I couldn't get divorced. Oh my God, what a blessing. Look what God did for me. Right or wrong, you decide. Am I too strong with you today? Is it not you who decides whether something's okay or not? You can work with yourself. And those are big things. I talk about low-hanging fruit. The weather. Start with the weather. Don't start with the husband leaving or wife leaving, all right? Just start with the weather. Can you learn to handle the weather? Of course you can. This is how you work with preferences. Work with the simplest little thing, the tiniest thing. You're eating and you're really picky about bugs. Oh my God, you're the pickiest thing in the whole world. And a fly lands next to, not on, but next to your food. Can you be okay with that? No. Yes, you can. You can work with yourself, can't you? This is higher than meditation. All right? I told you, I'm not here to teach meditation. I meditate, and meditation is wonderful. I'm here to teach you what to do when you're not meditating. Because I clue in, it makes a big difference. So take some things like that and learn to work with yourself. Don't have to be big. You can be little, but just start working with yourself to where you find out that tomorrow I can accept what I couldn't accept yesterday. Okay? And it's just beautiful what you can make of your life. And so that's now non-negative. So far I've talked about the non-negative, because you're bothering yourself. And wouldn't it be nice to not bother yourself? Wouldn't it be nice to never get negative? Wouldn't it be nice to kind of at least be okay? That's called being okay. I wouldn't accept okay in a billion years. I used to teach this. You go ask somebody, how you doing? I'm okay. Okay. How you doing? I'll get by. How you doing? It's been worse. Well, you answer each other when somebody says, how's your day going? I think I'll make it. Oh my, you poor little thing. That's not much fun. I never accept that. So I'm not interested in, yes, you got to work your way through non-negative. Then what happens? You're going to find out that when you start accepting the moments that are unfolding in front of you, instead of resisting and fighting and complaining, that it's nicer inside. And then you're going to find out there is an energy inside of you. It's called Shakti. Shakti. We'll call it Shakti. That's that yoga calls it. It's really there. It's really, really there. And it starts flowing up. And it's like feeding you. And it feels better than your relationships. It feels better than the nicest meal you ever had. It feels better than winning the lottery. It's just flowing up. It's just feeding you. Why wasn't it there before? Because you were using it to keep your stuff down there. Stuff from your past doesn't stay down there. That's not natural. The Colorado River does not just give up behind the Hoover Dam. It is always trying to push past that dam, is it not? Okay. Your suppressed stuff doesn't just sit down there. It requires your will to be pushing it down there and keeping it down there, because that's not a natural state. Did you know that? The natural state is for energy to come in and pass through. You have your experiences, be here now, it's coming in, it's passing through. I honor it, I respect it. It doesn't always feel good. I honor that too. I can handle it, and there it goes. But no, you store it. But when you store it, it's always trying to come back up. Always. That's why it comes back up. It comes back up in your dreams. It comes back when somebody says something, right or wrong. It pops back up there. It's always trying to come out, but you're holding it down. So that's where the Shakti is being used. The Shakti that can be ecstasy, that can be total love, you're using to hold this garbage down there. You don't realize it because it's subconscious. It's a habit. You devoted the beauty of your life to hold down your garbage. Can I repeat that? You devoted the most beautiful thing in your life, the flow of God, the flow of Shakti, the flow of Spirit inside of you. No, I don't want you doing that. I want to use you to hold my garbage inside of me. I want to ask you, is it true what I'm teaching you? Okay? Well, how about you don't do that? Learn not to do that. And what's going to happen is you let your garbage go, and all of a sudden this energy is liberated. It's free. It's always been there. It's always been there. And so it starts coming up. And then it starts becoming really beautiful. And that helps a lot. Because then you start thinking, am I willing to give this away because what you said? Am I willing to give this away because I caught every single light on my way into town? Am I willing to give this away because the line is long at the cashier's thing, and the cashier's just bungling everything and dropping everything, and am I willing to give up the Shakti? No, thank you. How would you like to be like that? And instead of being frustrated and so on, you just, okay, I feel some love. Good time to feel some good energy. You just change your attitude. It's not about getting what you want. It's about letting go of your blockages that are keeping you from loving everything. And that is the spiritual path. Okay. So again, I'm going to repeat where I started. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. Or, the great way is not difficult for those who prefer everything. Is it? Can you understand that one better? If you preferred every single thing that could ever happen and did happen, and it's just like, wow, my parents got divorced, my stepfather was terrible, I hated him to pieces, it was such a tough time for me, and I just look back at it, I love the whole thing. I wouldn't change, it should be about your past, you ready? I would not change one single thing that ever happened in my past. It made me the great being I am now. Okay, this is your life, this is your life's work. Earth is a place that souls are sent to evolve. Are you evolving or are you complaining? Okay. Work on these things. Jagradav.